Greetings, dear ladies. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. My partner steps away. And the step away is again in honoring of the gender, and that's all. There's no secrets here. Not in the channeling. For the first part of this channeling, I would like very much to extend the subject from the last channeling. Now, if you are listening to this later, find the date of this channeling and discover the one before it. It's not that difficult. It's not a sisterhood channeling. It's the one with the group that was here before the sisterhood. And the subject was souls. Now, we kept something from that channeling because it belongs here. There is further complications and complexities of that which is the human soul. So let's discuss it. In a multidimensional way, there cannot be simply one soul, one dimension. A multidimensional soul is in many places at the same time, really. But not only that, there is another wrinkle, as they say, and we're going to say there are soul groups. You might have heard that. Are you in my soul group? Am I in your soul group? It's not a hierarchy. It's a gathering. It's not even a classification. It's difficult to describe what a soul group is. It's the only word you have, group. It is a confluence of energy that involves many souls, not based upon gender or race or even the place or the time. It's about the Akash. What did you do together that would create what we call a memorable soul group? So now for the first time, you know why you're attracted to the sisterhood. It's more than just an Akashic experience. You are part of a soul group, a group that was there. Now, so many of you over thousands of years in Lemuria were not there together, but you were. All of those of you who experienced Lemuria, think of that, the Akashic launching pad of the planet, the first timers. You all had this in common. This is your group. Lifetimes apart, you're still in the group. So you might say there is a commonality. The sisterhood is a commonality. The group comes together from ancient times over a long time that is linear. But what you have in common is so profound. And that would be Pleiadian teachers. The originals, the one who came, and the ones, the Pleiadian mothers, the ones who stayed on to teach. There was no worship. They were simply the teachers. You did not think of them as from the stars. You didn't know any different. Remember, this is the beginning. And so it was very, very common for a Pleiadian teacher to be there. You just assumed it. It was the way of it. That's your soul group. Interesting. I'll just mention this because you see, it's not thought of very often. Even though it's been channeled before, you may not have heard it. It's common paradigm for women to form groups. And you think of what do women do quite often? In your society, they form groups. And whether it's a group just to chat or to talk or sewing circle or whatever, they form groups. And the paradigm goes that what do men do? Well, they don't form groups, they go to the pub. And this would then be a paradigm that has lasted for hundreds of years. It's what you know, your grandparents know, and those before them know. But there is an exception. There are men who form secret groups. And there are men who used to be women forming Masonic groups, holding secrets of all things. Men in groups with secrets. Does that sound like women? It does indeed. And that's because this is the gender shift that has happened throughout the ages, where you go back and forth in genders and they remember what? They're part of your soul group. Some of you sitting right here, another gender, another time, a man, in perhaps the Masonic lodge of its day, holding the secrets of the women. Metaphysical they are, secrets because they cannot be revealed, because they would be laughed at, and they're the secrets that you learned from your Pleiadian teachers. So there's more than this, the women in a soul group. Look for it. There's also something we have told you, and we hold to this, that at this point in time, it is no accident that so many old souls are the same gender as when they began. Has to do with the shift, has to do with the 26,000-year cycle that you would end up again at the center point, the same gender as when you started. That's part of a soul group that's comfortable. You're comfortable with the gender that started, you're comfortable now in that return. And you feel more about the sisterhood. If you wanted to know really, what is it that you feel? That's a lot of it. Now, if you turn the page, there's one more thing. It's very common, before the channel begins, for Meli Ha to have an intuition, to speak of the things that she remembers, not understanding really what it might be about. And so right now, I bring you something that she has suggested. Based upon our intuition, one that she doesn't really understand what she's remembering, she asks about assignments. And what she said is many women are wondering what their assignment is. Now that wouldn't happen unless it was a remembrance of assignments. Were there assignments or a paradigm like it in Lemuria? So again, we reveal something that we told you earlier, but we want to repeat it. The sisterhood in Lemuria was not a group of women getting together doing spiritual ceremony. Oh, that was part of it, and there was indeed those things you did. But the sisterhood and the meetings of the sisterhood were about the community. The sisterhood was about life in Lemuria. And you would share so many things with one another to help each other, to move forward. We even told you that the ages that you were would make a difference. And where some of the senior women would sit in honor, it would make a difference. And what would they share? Profundities? You might say so. Profundities of gardening, profundities of cooking, profundities of that which mattered to the village, ways of thinking, how to make the men happier as they came back from the ocean, how to clean the fish better. This is not sacred. This is sisterhood. And then there were the times when you would meet and you would have the teachings of the Pleiadian instructors, women all. That's where the assignments came. And the assignments that you would have would be life assignments while you were there. Assignments of perhaps your tasking, what you were better at. You see, a Pleiadian would be able to look at you and say, you belong in the garden. You belong in the kitchen. You belong as a teacher now. Let's talk about that. Because the Pleiadian teacher could read you. And even though your Akash was not deep yet, even though it had only started, the Pleiadian teacher would know who you were and some of the best attributes that you would carry. And so some of you were groomed as teachers. Those are the ones here and listening to this who know what an assignment is. Because this is a teacher, not for Lemuria. It's for life. Those of you know who would awaken to these, your soul groups, and feel there's something more. And those are the women who'd say, what is my assignment? I know there's something. You still are a teacher. So let's talk about that today. In a general fashion, perhaps you feel that you have an assignment to this day. I will tell you what the Pleiadian teacher told you all along. Your assignment is to carry that which is the creative source and the energy of compassion to everyday life. To your children, to your children's children, to your kitchen. To that which you consider mundaneness, to find the joy in it. That is the assignment. You see, dear ones, when you do that, you talk to the universe, you talk to yourselves, you talk to that which is in you, you talk to your chemistry, you talk to those who would listen. The assignment truly is to bring Lemuria back to everyday life. Those of you who feel you're teachers, you still are. Your assignment is to carry some form of teaching in what you do. Wherever you are and wherever you find yourself in everyday life, there's something to be taught. In the workplace, in the family, there's something to be taught. How you carry yourself, how you react to things, that's what you were originally taught. That is life's purpose. That is the assignment. The return to Lemuria truly is at hand. Your soul group starts to speak to you. What you do tonight, what you remember, it should start ringing to the Akash. Yes, I remember. And so Meliha is talking about assignments, not even knowing, truly, that it is pertinent to the age. The paradigm is to remember the assignment of compassion. What the Pleiadian teacher told you in the sisterhood, in a hushed time that was spiritual, was the mantra, you are sacred. You are sacred. So take that sacredness and cook with it, garden with it, please others with it, help the men, the village with it. Create the sacredness of prayer when they're in the ocean, finding the fish. Help them in all that they do like you would help in what you do. Because you are sacred. That is the mantra. In all that you do, remember the sacredness. 2017, in all you do, remember the sacredness. At home, at school, at work, on the highway. Remember that. For this is what will change the planet, dear sisters. And so it is.